Are you an oversharer, a data dumper, perhaps a rambler with a side of rabbit holes? Well, if that's the case, I want to invite you to my upcoming workshop, The Goldilocks Effect of Speaking, where I'm going to share my top tips for how to say not too little, not too much, but just the right amount so you can land your message with impact every single time. It's happening Thursday, the 30th of October, 12:25 for a 12:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time start, and it only costs $67. It's free if you're an Impact Club member. So the link is in the show notes, and I look forward to seeing you on the 30th. Now, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Speaking with Confidence with Kat Matson, the show where I coach you and other humble leaders, whether you're a business owner, a public servant, or other fellow corporate hippies, how to speak with confidence, with authority, with authenticity, and with impact, so you can contribute meaningfully and impactfully to the conversations that matter. It's awesome to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, it's been a big, I don't know, it feels like it's been a big couple of weeks. And it's been a while, actually, I feel, since I've been in the podcasting studio, otherwise known as my little study. But today I want to talk about something that is actually ridiculously underrated when it comes to boosting your confidence. I mean, that's what you're here for, right? How do you speak with confidence? Look, I'm going to kind of rewind and tell you what sparked this particular episode, and that is that this Friday, at time of publication, is World Smile Day. And smiling is actually one of those underrated tips for boosting your confidence. But first, let me give some context. World Smile Day. It was first held in 1999 because the commercial artist who created the smiley face, you know, that big yellow smiley face icon. Now, his name is Harvey Ball, and he created that smiley face way back in 1963. Yes, that's before we were using bloomin' emojis on our smartphones. But he created that icon just to spread a little bit of love and to spread a bit of happiness. But what he became concerned with was the over-commercialization of that particular image. And so in 1999, he declared that the first Friday in October would be World Smile Day, a day dedicated to acts of kindness and smiles. So given that this Friday is World Smile Day, I wanted to share how smiling can actually be the fastest and the most powerful way of overcoming your nerves and any sense of not good enough you might have before you take a stage. Whether that stage is a big one with thousands, whether it's a podcasting stage like the one I've got here right now, or whether it's speaking up in a meeting or delivering a presentation. So if you're a regular listener, thank you, by the way, welcome back. You know that I've spoken a lot about nerves because, well, speaking nerves is one of the top concerns that my clients come to me for. So, if you go back to, in fact, quite a recent episode 158, I talk about how to ground yourself. And if you go right back to the beginning, you'll see in episode 11, I talk about how to calm your nerves once and for all. But they're all they're all techniques that help you remind yourself that you're okay, help you kind of put in place some stock standard starts so you can tell your nervous system that you're under control before you actually launch into your content. But smiling, as I am now, as perhaps you can hear if you're listening, if you're watching, then you can see me smiling. Smiling is actually a really powerful way to calm your nerves too. And I think we forget about it. I think because it seems so simple, we forget that that is actually a very powerful technique to calm your nerves and boost your confidence instantly. Let me demonstrate. Unless you're driving, and if you're driving, then maybe just park this exercise, pardon the pun, until you can do this exercise safely. But I want you, whatever you're doing right now, as you're listening or you're watching this podcast, I want you to just take on the physiology of someone who is not confident. So you might want to slump down in your seat, or if you're walking, you might want to just slow down. In fact, if you're walking, perhaps you might want to kick a few stones around or kind of drag your feet. You might want to look down. You might want to even frown or pout, and not in a selfie pout way, but pout in a, oh man, life sucks. I suck. I'm terrible. Like that kind of physiology. I want you to look down, whether you're standing, walking, or sitting. I want you to look down. If you're sitting, really slump down into your seat, like that real deep slouch. Fold your shoulders forward a little bit and just really adopt that physiology of feeling blur. So as you do that, as you sit in that physiology, without changing your physiology, I want you to think of how awesome you are. I want you to think of a win or think of something that you've done that you're really proud of without changing your physiology. You've got to keep looking down, keep kicking those stones, stay slouched in your seat. It's really hard, isn't it? It's really, really hard to find good stuff when you're in this physiology. So let's flip it. I want you to change your physiology now. If you're walking, pick up the pace. Regardless of whether you're walking, if you're sitting, in fact, sit up straight in your chair, like straighten your back. Regardless of whether you're walking or sitting, throw your shoulders back and look up. Look up at the sky, look up at the ceiling, look up and smile. Smile. Now think of something that you're really proud of. Think of the magic that you want to share with the world. Think of your message. It's a bit easier, right? This is a self-replicating feedback loop. And you can't have one without the other. You cannot change state by maintaining physiology of the old state. So if you're nervous, if you're lacking in confidence, if you're feeling down and out, check your physiology, and for goodness gracious me, in the theme of this week's show around World Smile Day, smile. Just smile. Smile. Now, if you're kind of sitting there going, yeah, but Kat, I get really, really, really bad nerves. I get it. And smiling isn't necessarily going to stop the nerves, but the smiling will help you get through the nerves regardless. Because when you're smiling, when you've thrown your shoulders back, when you've got your back upright, when you're moving with intention and with confidence, you can kind of notice the nerves for what they are, which are just, something exciting's about to happen. You're about to do something that's really cool. Whereas when you're slumped over, when you're looking down, when you're frowning, when you're in that blur physiology, then the nerves are all of the negative messages that you ever want to tell yourself about how terrible you are. So, look up, shift your physiology, and smile. Now, as I said, I have spoken about nerves plenty of times on this particular podcast. So if you want to go back to a recent episode 158, that's 158, you can listen to how to ground yourself before a speaking gig, which has a whole lot of tips on literally how do you ground yourself and therefore how do you manage your nerves. And also, if you go way back to the beginning to episode 11, I talk about how to calm your nerves once and for all, which is essentially how do you change that thinking that often sparks most of our nerves that tell us we're not good enough. Yeah, so the links to those are in the show notes. While we're smiling, I want to share a little smile moment of my own. Just last week, I got a notification on my phone from Spotify for Podcasters, which is where I host this podcast. And the notification said, "Congratulations, your podcast has been downloaded or streamed 10,000 times." It's not bad. And in fact, when I dug into the notification, it turns out that Spotify was a little bit late on the notification. Actually, the podcast has been downloaded 15,000 times. So if you're a regular listener, thank you. Thank you for being one of those downloads and one of those streams. In a world where social media and similar online metrics can often feel a little bit meaningless, 15,000 downloads or streams means 15,000 moments of impact. 15,000 times that you have listened in to get a boost of confidence, to get a boost of speaking skills, to get a boost of how do you make your impact in the world. So that is ridiculously humbling and extraordinarily validating for me. So thank you. Here's my ask. I'd love to get to the next milestone. I would love to get to the next milestone. I'd love to get to 20,000 really, 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 really fast. So here's my request. Can you help me? Can you help me, please? Can you share this podcast on your social media channels? Can you leave a review on Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening? Or if you're listening on Spotify, can you leave a comment? All of those little signals, they're kind of like the physiological signals that we were just talking about for your mood. They're the signals for the algorithm that tells the algorithm to share this podcast more. And honestly, the more people who have the confidence and the skills to contribute to the conversations that matter, the better the world will be. So in honor of this years of 2025's World Smile Day, could you make me smile by sharing, commenting, or leaving a review on this podcast so I can hit that 20,000 milestone really fast? That would make me smile. That would make me smile. All right, as we wrap up this particular episode, just a reminder of the upcoming Goldilocks workshop, how to literally say not too little, not too much, but just the right amount that you can land your message with impact every single time. It's coming up on Thursday, the 30th of October, $67. You will get the recording regardless of whether you can show up live, and it's going to be juicy. It's going to be juicy. I cannot wait to share those particular tips. The link for that is in the show notes as well. Finally, if you have a question that you would like me to answer on this particular podcast, reach out. The best way to do that is on Instagram at Kat Matson. Kat is with a C. Just find me. I'm not hard to find on Insta, and just ask me the question. And that way I can give you literally a little mini coaching session on an upcoming episode of the podcast. So with that all said, here's to smiling. May you smile today. May you pass on an act of kindness to have somebody else smile. And may you smile next time you're just feeling a little low in confidence. Just smile and remind yourself how awesome, how fabulous, and how loved you are. Here's to confidence and here's to impact. I'll see you again soon. Bye.